Good Tuesday evening, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. It is Tuesday night, and we are tracking storms that are going to be moving into our area tonight. We have a lot to watch tonight. Even before the storms move in, we're already seeing the winds whipping up, and these are gradient winds. These are not thunderstorm force winds that are pushing in right now. These are gradient winds that are going to be whipping around really before the line of storms moves in and even after the line of storms moves in during the nighttime hours tonight too. As of right now, the rain is not even here yet. We're watching just clouds that are building in. The rain though is just over the state line into Alabama, approaching Cleburne County and Randolph County. There is some thunder and lightning with that, but those storms, that leading edge that's about to move across the line, is not the severe part. You can see the severe part really is from central Alabama down into southern Alabama, including parts of the Florida Panhandle. That's where there is a tornado watch in effect. You'll notice here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit tighter to this in just a moment, north of the tornado watch, there is one lone severe thunderstorm warning. And so this is really the part of the system that we're watching in North Alabama that's going to be impacting us through the late night hours and overnight. The part that is showing the most severe weather right now is pretty much going to stay to our south. You see where they have the red box here, which is a tornado watch. That again is in parts of central Alabama and into southern Alabama. The main tornado parameters are really more to our south. We still can't rule out an isolated brief spin up that could happen here when this line of storms moves in, but we're not expecting a widespread tornado outbreak or anything with this. This is mainly going to be an event with some brief heavy rain, and then strong winds is going to be the main thing that we're going to be watching here for tonight. So I want to zoom in tighter to a few of these storms here. Again, there is that leading edge that you see right now just to the west of Carrollton. So here's Atlanta right here. We've got the clouds. There's that leading edge just coming into Cleburne, about to move into Randolph County. Once you get over into Talladega, that's where we're beginning to see some more lightning with that, but that part of the storm is not severe. Where we see severe now is this part right here. So this is the initial rain that's moving in, but the actual line of storms is still out to the west. You can see the severe part of this just to the west of Birmingham, near Tuscaloosa, along I-20 there, to the south and also to the west of the Birmingham area. That is where we have one severe thunderstorm warning there. Otherwise, north of I-20 over in Alabama, we are not seeing any severe storms yet. It is possible that this line north of Birmingham could potentially exhibit some severe storms, possibly, but the air on the north side, north of I-20 over in Alabama, is actually a little more stable there. And then when you go down to the south, I want you to see, yep, that's where we have that tornado watch. And then here is Montgomery, all right? Montgomery's right here. And then out 65 south toward Atmore. Once you're getting into western parts of Alabama, southwestern Alabama, these storms are the ones that are more severe. And there's a tornado warning right there coming out of Mississippi, moving into southwestern parts of Alabama, just north of Mobile, where there is a tornado warning there. And again, those areas are where the tornado parameters are just a little bit higher for severe storms. If you were watching us earlier tonight at 6 o'clock on 11 Alive News, I was telling you then that when we had one tornado watch back in Mississippi, that we were expecting another one to be issued for central and south Alabama, excuse me, and the Florida Panhandle. And then that's where it was issued after 6:30. Now, the Weather Service has not given us any indication on whether or not they're going to extend this tornado watch to maybe include parts of southwest Georgia. We just don't know that part yet. We do think that by the time this line gets into Georgia, though, it will be a little bit weaker. We still have a level 2 risk, though, to the south of us, so it's possible they may extend a watch over into at least southwest Georgia. I'm not sure if it would include any of our southern counties here in our viewing area, but that's something we're going to be watching as we go through the rest of the evening hours tonight. Now, the other thing I want you to be aware of is we have strong winds. Again, these are gradient winds that have really nothing to do with the storms. These are the winds that are going to be pushing through our area. that really has nothing to do with the storms that are moving through. And as that continues to push on through our area here and ahead of those storms, we will continue to see the chances for the rain to move in, but the wind is really going to be kicking up a lot more here for before the line of showers and storms move in, as well as when the actual front moves in. And then after the front, it is also going to be a very windy night too. So what you see up in North Georgia, that kind of pinkish purple color here, in far North Georgia, including Dawson County, Pickens, Gordon County, up to the north of that, also to the east where you have up into areas of Lumpkin, White County, that line up to the north is where we have a high wind warning. It is in that area that we're going to see wind gusts that are going to be generally here between 20 and 30 miles an hour, gusting to 55 miles an hour during the overnight hours. The rest of our area that you see in tan right here, West Georgia, Metro Atlanta, east of us, also down to the south of us, is where we have a wind advisory in effect. That's going to be in effect until 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So this is ahead of the storms, during the storms, and behind the storms when these winds are really going to be whipping up. But in Metro Atlanta, we're going to see southwest winds are going to be 15 to 25 miles an hour, gusting to about 45 miles an hour at times. We have had sporadic reports around North Georgia and Metro Atlanta of some trees down. Some spots like up in Pickens County, we not only had some trees come down on some power lines, but that also caused a brush fire. And with these winds, that could spread very quickly. So a lot to watch here even before these storms arrive for tonight. Here's a look at the wind speeds right now. We've got about 16 mile an hour winds in Atlanta, a little stronger over to the west of us. In Carrollton, we're talking about 20 mile an hour winds there, 16 mile an hour winds in LaGrange, Rome checking in at 16 mile an hour winds too. But these winds are going to start whipping up more through the rest of the evening hours. Take a look at this. This is once we get to the midnight hour. Not only do we have the gradient winds that are going to be strong, so at midnight, 37 mile an hour winds here, but as the line of storms move in, that's going to enhance those winds even more. We're talking 50 mile an hour wind gusts in Carrollton around the midnight hour, 45 mile an hour wind gusts in LaGrange, 38 mile an hour wind gusts in Rome, and also in Dalton and in Marietta. So just get ready for those winds to get stronger as those storms move in too. Now overnight, it is going to be windy. The storms will push those stronger winds early tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock well over to the east. But even behind the system, we're still going to be dealing with wind for a while. We're talking 18 mile an hour wind gusts in Atlanta at 7 in the morning, 23 mile an hour wind gust in the Carrollton area and over in West Georgia. And then during the day, we're going to see clouds, maybe a couple little showers here and there in the afternoon, but no storms around. But the winds are still going to be whipping up, generally coming in from the west. We're talking 30 mile an hour wind gusts in LaGrange, Carrollton, also in Marietta. 31 mile an hour winds in Canton, 29 mile an hour winds here in the Atlanta area. So it is going to be a very blustery day, and then holding on to the winds later on Wednesday night and into Thursday morning too. Here is a look at that severe weather threat, that main severe weather threat, that tan color that you see in parts of South Alabama and into the Florida Panhandle. That is where we have a level 3 of 5 risk for severe storms to take place. And that's where most of those ingredients are for any potential tornadoes. Now, the level 2 risk does extend into West Georgia, pretty much here in parts of Floyd County from Rome, including Polk County, Haralson County, Carroll County, parts of Douglas, parts of Coweta, Heard County, Troup County, and Meriwether County, parts of Pike County and Spalding County, and Upson County, actually. That yellow color you see there back into Alabama, Cleburne and Randolph County, you're in that too. That's where there's a level 2 of 5 risk for severe storms, meaning there's a little better chance for a few of those severe thunderstorms to hold together and be a little more scattered around. More isolated, meaning fewer severe storms, as that pushes into Atlanta and over to the east. That's where we have a level 1 of 5 risk for these storms. This is for late tonight, overnight into early on Wednesday, where we're going to see that threat move through. Then during the day on Wednesday, all of that moves to the east very quickly. In fact, by the time most of us wake up early tomorrow morning, the rain and the storms, they're already going to be out of here. And then we'll see those storms kind of fire up a little bit more over in East Georgia and over into parts of the Carolinas too. And then that's where there's a level 3 risk in eastern South Carolina, eastern North Carolina, up into parts of Virginia, where we see that tan color again, that level 3 of 5 risk that'll be moving through there. But our weather conditions, storm conditions, will be improving pretty much around sunrise tomorrow and after, but we're just still going to be dealing with a lot of wind that is going to be out there. So let's take a look at the threats that we're talking about. Heavy rain is one of the risks. Now, it's going to be brief heavy rain. The system's going to be moving through pretty quickly, so it's not going to be heavy rain for hours and hours and hours to cause flooding. We don't expect any flooding with this. It's just going to be brief heavy rain moving through as the line sweeps through from west to the east. Strong winds is more of a moderate, maybe even a little bit more of a heavier risk out there, or a stronger risk for severe storms. Tornado risk is very low, but it's not zero, and we're not really expecting hail with these storms as they move through. So take a look at these temperatures. One thing that's in our favor is the air to the north and east of us is a little bit milder and a little bit more stable. We've got 63 in Gainesville, 50s in Clayton, and in Blairsville, 64 in Athens, compared to the 68 we have here, 69 in LaGrange, 67 in Peachtree City. Slightly warmer air here in this section is the part of the system that will be a little more conducive to maybe some of those storms picking up on some instability and getting a little bit stronger there. So through the overnight hours, 10 o'clock, we still expect to be dry here, but in northwest Georgia, we'll start seeing those showers moving in. Around around midnight to 2 a.m. is the time frame most likely when we'll see the heaviest rain pushing in. By 4 o'clock, it's pushing over to the east of us. Still some east metro counties will be getting in on that rain, but look at this. By 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the morning, the sunshine starts to break through, mixing it with the clouds, and the rain is going to be gone. So I want to walk you through the forecast track, and you'll notice here as we get into the 10 o'clock hour, that's next hour, that's where we're going to see this rain that's moving in. Now, notice that we have rain ahead of this part right here. It's this part along with the front that is where we have the strongest of the storms that are moving through. So it's this part that has the best chance for severe storms. So the initial area of rain is just going to be general rain coming in. There you see by midnight, a few showers approaching our area, but that line of stronger storms is just going to be crossing over the state line. That's pretty much going to be over us, let's say closer to 2 o'clock in the morning, with that main line with the strongest action that'll be moving through. That's what could have the strongest winds. That's what could kick up a little bit of brief rotation, but again, it's not a guarantee that we'll see any type of rotation with this. By 4 o'clock, Athens nearing Eatonton to the east of Thomaston is where we'll see that line of storms. So the back edge of the rain, actually by 4 o'clock in the morning, is pretty much going to be ending, pushing out of our area. Then still moving away, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then some drier weather, some sunshine breaking through in the morning, but then by afternoon, additional clouds move in, maybe just a couple little showers here and there, and it may even be cold enough in far north Georgia that we could see a couple of snow flurries shaken out of that late Wednesday night. We don't expect any issues with that. This is just any leftover moisture left behind that could cause some flurries there. Then on Thursday, we're going to be clearing out. It's going to be cooler on Thursday in the morning hours and into the afternoon too, before we warm up a little bit more heading in closer to the weekend. A few more clouds pushing in on Friday, mixing in with the sunshine, but we don't expect any rain here on your Friday. So here is a look at that rain comparison. Maybe up to an inch here in the metro area. I really think we're going to be closer to about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch from comparing the American model as well as the European model here. So let's talk now about that 7-day outlook, where we are going to see those temperatures that are going to be up and down a little bit. And starting off with mild air early in the morning, right around 53 degrees, 55 to start, and then 63 in the afternoon. So we're not going to see a big wide range of temperatures tomorrow. And then down to 36 Thursday morning with a high of 56, 38 Friday morning with a high of 66. So it starts warming up a little bit. Saturday, a few more clouds, low rain risk at about 20%. And then heading into Sunday, about a 40% chance for showers. But it's going to be cooler there at 57. And then Monday and Tuesday, That's going to be the nicest thing we're going to see here as we see drier air moving in. Lows generally around 39 Monday morning with a high of 67, then 43 Tuesday morning with a high up to 73 degrees with dry weather moving into the first part of next week. Stay with us. We're going to do another stream for you tonight at 10 o'clock. And then we'll have our 11 o'clock newscast here on 11 Alive Plus. And then after that newscast, we will do another stream. And then I'm going to be on standby all night long. I'm going to be doing a lot of streaming live weather updates for you here all night long as these stronger storms continue to move on through.